Hello YouTube. I hope you're having a good day so far. I know I am. I did one of these tutorials back in 2011. Figured it was time to do another one, 2015 edition. So here we are. I'm just going to do a basic rundown of everything that you need to know about McAfee. When it comes to your security, your updates, making sure your firewall is working, your navigation, finding your quarantine, and things like that. As you can see, I have some of these things that were quarantined before. So you just want things to be simple. So I'm here to make things simple. So of course you have your main sections right here. Virus and spyware protection, you always want real-time scanning on. Web and email protection, you always want your firewall on unless you have a different or preferred firewall. McAfee updates, we're going to go more into depth with this, but you really want to make sure your updates are always current. Your subscription, active, free, whichever one you're using. I think there's a free version of McAfee. It's nowhere near as good and it does not provide as many services, but I'm not going to knock you on that. If you have an active service, which I recommend, you better protected, and many other things that are vastly important. Then over here you have data protection, which is just a quick link to the data protection section in the settings. PC and home network tools. This is a basic outline of your network settings and your PC and things like that. Like if you connect a printer to it, or if you have Wi-Fi, or if you have multiple computers hooked up together, or if you have a router, a root, or whatever. This is where you're going to find those settings and parental controls if you're a parent and you're looking for parental controls on a child's computer or a computer on which a child has access. Up here at the top, you're going to notice Home, Navigation, Help. Let's run through these simply. Navigation is your navigation center. This has everything you will ever need. If you ever need to find anything, it's usually right here. You got your settings, features, reports and history, your firewall, parental controls, quick clean, your shredder, McAfee resources such as help support, the threat map, virus information library in case you come across a virus and you want to have more information about it. Hacker Watch, which is important if you might get hacked, or getting updates about what is happening in the cyber world. About, pretty simple. Your defragger, your automatic updates, your real-time scanning, your anti-spam, your home network, your scheduled scan, your quarantine to trusted items. This is where this is located. If you need to find your quarantine, such as it tells you that you have a quarantine item, or you run a scan and it tells you it's quarantined some viruses, this is where they're going to be. Your traffic monitor. Well, you know, this is pretty simple. Your help menu, boom, right here, help and support. Clicking this will take you to their online website. It gives you FAQs, a knowledge base, and community forums, which you can find common answers, or you can contact a technician who will help you if there's something more advanced that you're not sure. Your access to a support agent who can help you fix the tougher issues. This is where it's really important to make sure you have an active subscription, and there's another link to the website right there. We're going to go back to the home page. Keep things simple. We'll run through these, we'll go through the navigation panel again, and we can come through these. So we'll start off easy. Virus and spyware protection. These are what these settings look like. Pretty simple. Scan your PC, run a quick, full, or custom scan to eliminate viruses, spyware, and other threats on your PC. It's exactly as simple as it sounds. If you click on that, you get this page right here. You can run a quick scan, a full scan, or a custom scan to check certain sections of your computer in case you think that there might be certain files in a certain area that you think are probably corrupted or damaging or have viruses or spamware or malware. This is pretty simple, straightforward. Everyone should really understand how this works. If you don't, there's a Learn More section. So, hey, boom, right there. Nice and simple. You can go back really easily, and here's where we're going to get a little bit more convoluted when it comes to the updates. This is important. You want to make sure your updates are current. To check for updates, you simply click Check for Updates. If you need to decide how your settings are updated, which is important, you click on this one. So let's click on this. here we go. We're brought up to this page. You do not ever want to turn this off unless you're getting very annoyed by the updates, which does happen. Usually it's important to make sure you have automatic updates on, but if you think you're going to be playing video games for the next 12 hours, or you're going to be running something hardware intensive, you're going to want to turn this off for a short period of time. This is usually if you're running an office computer, or you're at work, or you're running a workstation. This is where you're going to want to leave this on. Down here you get these options right here. Download and install updates automatically. This is usually the preferred method if you're running on an office computer or a work computer or something of that sort. If you want to be able to update when you want to update, you click the second option right there. Download updates but notify me before installing. This will tell you, hey, there's an update and it's going to start updating right now. That's important. You know, if you do this one, it's not going to tell you. It's not going to tell you when it's updating. It's just going to update on its own. If you do this, it's going to notify you that there's updates happening. This third option is notify me when updates are available. This means that they're not going to automatically download most of the time. Sometimes they'll do so anyways if they're important or major updates. You click on this one, it'll immediately tell you when there's an update available. It's pretty straightforward and simple. There's a learn more section in case you need more information. The good thing about McAfee is that they are constantly have this learn more button and links to their main website that can help you understand better. So that's the updates section. If you have to do manual updates, that's where you're going to want to go to the website and look up how to do that. I'm not going to go through a tutorial on how to manually update, so if you're here for that reason, I'm sorry, I can't really help you. You're going to have to go to the main website and search for that. Contact a support technician if you have to. Next, web and email protection. Now, this is where I told you you're going to want to make sure you always have your firewall on unless you're using a different or preferred firewall. If you're using a different or preferred firewall, it's okay to turn this off or on. If they conflict, turn one or the other off. But if they're not conflicting, you're even safer having multiple firewalls. It's not going to destroy your PC, and really it's only going to protect you against threats against your PC or against your IP address or anything like that. If people are going to try and hack into your router or whatever, or got your router password or something, and they're trying to hack into your PC, which is possible, it's called like remote viewing or something of the sort, the firewall prevents that kind of thing. So you usually want this on. It protects you from having your PC hijacked or anything like that. So let's go into further detail. You have the traffic controller, which you can open up here, which allows you to handle how you want the firewall to access your programs. So, smart access, which is recommended. The firewall decides whether programs are allowed incoming or outgoing internet access. So if the firewall says this is a trusted program, it's going to run the program automatically and it's not going to consult you. Monitored access is where it's going to say these are the programs that are connecting to the internet. Do you want to run this? This is usually important. Smart access most of the time gets things right, but occasionally if you're under higher security pressure or you're more worried that your computer is under risk, you're going to want to go under monitored. This is important. If you're having like a massive virus attack or a malware problem or a spyware problem, this is what you're going to want to do. You want to click this, because then when something pops up and it says, hey, this program wants to connect to the internet, it's asking for something, for information from the internet, or it's asking to send information to the internet. You'll have to say yes or no. So if it's not a program you're running, you can say no and it'll deny it access. You can click stealth, which will hide your PC from others, and it will also let you decide whether you want the unknown programs to connect to the internet or not. So it's pretty much the same as monitored, only it's more of a camouflage to prevent you from being spotted in the internet, pretty much. Because while you're surfing around, people can usually have access to your IP address and they know where you are, you know where your PC is and stuff like that. This kind of limits the information that they can gain from you, as well as the programs that are connecting. Lockdown. This is emergency situations only. This is for when you're having a massive virus attack, or you feel like you're under threat from a hacker, or you feel like you're under threat from malware or spyware, and you don't feel like you're able to solve it on your own, this is when you're going to want to go into lockdown. This blocks the internet access and shuts down all network activity. It's literally what it says it is. It's lockdown. It cuts your PC off from the world. So when you do this, all internet access is pretty much cut off. You're not going to be able to connect to the internet, but nothing from the internet's going to be able to connect to you. So that's what I said. If you think that like a massive virus is going to start sending all of your information out into the net, or you feel like someone is hacking you and taking control of your PC or something, which is possible. It's happened to people before. It's happened to people who have not had very high of a threat risk. It's happened to plenty of people. So this is where your emergency lockdown is. If in the very least you can't stop it with the lockdown, just turn off your PC with the lockdown on and take it to a computer shop or contact support via phone. Because you're going to have way more problems if that's what's happening. If lockdown doesn't help, and if you are on lockdown, it's preferable that you contact support in any way you can during their office hours of McAfee. Contact their support team. Smart advice and advanced settings. We're going to go under here. It's pretty straightforward. Decide automatically. It's going to decide which programs work. Block internet access at startup, and you start up your PC and you just log on. No programs are going to be able to connect to the internet. This is good because it prevents a lot of spyware, spamware, and malware from connecting to the internet right away, which is when a lot of those things start, is when you turn your computer on. That's when a lot of those that are downloaded or on your computer will activate, is usually when you turn your computer on. And doing this will prevent them from connecting to the internet right away, but after a certain period of time it's going to turn off and you're going to be able to connect to the internet and all of that. Allow ICMP ping requests. This is kind of one of those things that's really never used. Most of the time, smart advice is smart enough to know when things like this are happening. This is more on an individual level. If you have something that's like a program or your router or something that is using this or UDP, and you need to be sending ping requests, or you need to have something being tracked, that's when you're going to allow those. But for the most part, it's probably never going to be a problem. If it is a problem, it's right there in black and white for you to change. You can click right here to ask you to decide. So if you need to, if you have a program or whatever that doesn't want to work correctly, you can go right there. That changes your smart settings, kind of like the other options there. Your firewall history, it's pretty simple. Keep your history of your firewall of blocked programs, of pings, blocked IP addresses, ports, any intrusions or unknown events. You can click don't log these events, but I do not recommend it. It does not take much space on your computer at all to log the events, and you're better safe than sorry, because you can easily delete the log events if you feel like there's too many of them or whatever, but they really don't take up that much space, and it's usually important to have this sort of thing. So if you do need to contact support, you have it all right there, and they can pretty much you can pretty much show them what was happening, and you can look yourself to see what your firewall is doing. Some people are surprised when they take a look at their logs because they see that it's actually blocked a lot of things that could have been harmful to their PC. So usually you're going to want to keep that on. It's not really a big deal. Interconnections for programs. This is usually programs that are running on your PC that you allow access to the internet. NetGuard pretty much prevents that program from having risky connections, and access changes the amount of access that program is allowed to have on the internet. So as you can see here, McAfee has full access and has the NetGuard off, because it's one of the important programs that you want to have like that. As you scroll down, you're going to see more programs. You're probably going to have a lot of McAfee that you don't realize are there, but it's all one program. This is just like segments of the program. As you scroll down, you're going to start to notice other programs like music, Windows Media Player, or whatever you have. iTunes, it's probably going to be on your Google Chrome right there. Windows Host Tasks, Downloaders, Steam, it's going to be right there. Stuff like this, you're going to notice your PC settings, games, Java Updater, Skype, all kinds of stuff. Anything that's a program on your computer will be right here. And when you come across programs that you think are dangerous or harmful, you're going to want to go in. This is important because sometimes a firewall lets things slide through. If you've heard nothing else from what I've said so far, listen now. This is important. If you have a program such as spyware or malware or a virus that is running on your computer that you know is there and your firewall has not blocked it, you're going to want to go here to your internet connections for programs. Find the program. Select your program. I'll just choose one of these for example. It really doesn't matter. You can click Edit. I'm not really going to change any of these settings here, but this is just for example. You're going to want to deny it access. Block. If you know it's spyware, malware, a virus, spamware, whatever it is, block it internet access. That's important. A lot of these programs will download more programs. A lot of them are based to do that. They open the door for other programs to be downloaded on your computer. If you deny them access and turn the net guard on, you prevent them from doing that. This is important. Hear nothing else from this. Listen here. That's what you want to do. If you have something that McAfee cannot shred, you cannot turn the program off, you're having trouble, I've had this problem myself, you want to block it internet access. Don't give it more opportunities than it can have. The program will still be running, but you'll be denying it access from allowing more programs to come in. So in the very least, you're cutting it off from its source, and you want to do that. Alright, that's the important part that you needed to know. These other things like network connections, those just tell you what things are connected to your network. Ports, if you need to open specific ports to allow games or programs to run through your firewall, you can go here and do that. Intrusion detection, this is kind of important. You can have it on high or basic depending on your preference. Usually it's recommended to have it on basic. I have mine on high because, I like to be safe. It's just that's mostly on your own preference. It's just a security level. NetGuard, it's right here. Those are the settings that I'd mentioned before. If you have NetGuard on, it watches the IP addresses that are coming in and out, helps to avoid risky connections, and lets you decide which connections are allowed. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, pretty basic. There, firewall. We're done with firewall. That was all of the important stuff you needed to know about your firewall. The most important part about that was the connections with the internet. Because if you do have spyware or malware that McAfee is not picking up, which does happen occasionally, no one security source is ever going to be 100%. Even the Pentagon has things that slip inside of it sometimes. Don't believe me, you can look it up. There are a few viruses and things that have made it into the Pentagon before. No internet security service is going to be 100%. So in the event that something like that is to happen and those programs are going to make it onto your computer and you need some way to cut them off, that's what you want to do. The second one program lands there, do that immediately if McAfee does not pick it up. Scan your computer, find that immediately, deny internet access, because the sooner you do that, the less likely it is to download more programs, potentially unwanted programs, PUPs, from your computer. So that's important. Your firewall is extremely important. Always remember where that is. It's not that difficult to find, but you usually don't know it's there until after someone has told you. I found that out on my own, but you can, now that I've told you, that's important. Your subscription, this tells you how many days are left on your subscription. Mine is running out pretty soon. I'm going to have to pick up a new one or a subscription with another internet service or whatever. I'm thinking about probably getting McAfee again, but it really doesn't matter. You can buy your subscription online. You edit your profile, your billing information, your other subscriptions. It's pretty simple. It tells you if it's active or not. If it's not active, you're going to want to get it active. If it's not if it is active, you're fine. Data protection, you go under here. This usually is empty, non-existent at all, or has a few different McAfee programs such as like internet browser protection, smart surfing, Shredder, which I have installed, which protects your privacy by letting you eliminate files that contain sensitive information. So if something is sensitive, or you just really want to destroy a program without having to go to the recycle bin, I use this for malware and viruses sometimes. I just go in and I shred its basic file base, which really makes it incredibly difficult for it to continue functioning. And because the shredder is a permanent deletion, it shreds the file like a paper shredder. That file is no longer going to run anymore. So if you are going to delete something that's like credit card information, stock information, your work information, company information, if you're going to delete it, I support using a shredder. You can delete it normally if you just want to be safe, like as if you think you might need it later, don't shred it. If you think I'll never need this again, I am positive, shred it. It's pretty simple, or just permanently delete it in another facet. PC and home network tools. So this is pretty simple too. Your home network, this gives you a bird's eye view of what your computers and devices on your network are, and lets you fix security issues on your PCs. This is basically if you have multiple PCs, that's what you're going to want to use. If you're using Wi-Fi, this is important. Usually this is never a big deal, and you're never going to need to come here pretty much for any reason. Quick clean, pretty simple. This just helps improve your performance by erasing unnecessary files. You're going to want to run this every once in a while. It's not really ever often that you need to run this, but this usually just gets rid of temporary files that just kind of clog up your computer and are never used more than once. So sometimes run this, like every 6 months or whatever, just run it. It's not even important. You could probably not even touch this for 2 years, and you probably would never have any performance issues on your PC. But sometimes it's good to run it. Vulnerability scanner just runs and tells you if you might be vulnerable or if you need more software for your Windows or a program or something like that. So this tells you, like, oh, you need a new Windows update. If you run this, it'll tell you. So maybe if you didn't know or you haven't seen it before, it's pretty straightforward. It'll tell you other updates that you might need that'll make you less vulnerable on the internet. Parental controls, pretty simple. You can click on here, set them up, control what your family can see or do on the web. Your administrative password, protect your family, parental controls, all that. Since this is my only computer and I'm already the administrator and I am an adult, I don't need to touch that at all. Alright, let's go to the navigation panel. The navigation center holds all of the information you will ever need. If you did not find it in one of the home tabs, you're going to find it here. This is where everything is pretty much located. So settings, your subscription, general settings and alerts and features, those are pretty basic, so let's take a look under general settings. General settings, show a McAfee splash screen when Windows starts. So if Windows starts up, this will tell you McAfee's running. I don't have that checked because that probably is annoying. Wait until my PC is idle to run tasks like scans, automatic updates, and quick clean. Those things basically just says, like, if you're using your computer, it's less likely, not guaranteed, but it's way less likely to run a scan. If you're watching like a 2-hour-long YouTube video, it might run on its own anyways. So just be warned. If you don't move your mouse every once in a while or whatever, it's probably going to do it. Information alerts, pretty basic. Tells you when programs are going to connect to the internet. Tells you when you've installed a USB drive. Tells you when updates are installed. Tells you when you're running a scan. Tells you when there are no issues. Stuff like that. Pretty simple, basic. We'll keep moving on. Protection alerts. This tells you if your firewall's on or off and other things that you need to know. Access protection. Pretty simple. Tells you when something's going to connect to the internet. It also tells you about McAfee's files and services, so that, so you don't accidentally delete them. So if you're going to use the shredder on a McAfee file, it's going to tell you, hey, don't do that. This is one of your important files. So it's pretty simple. Let's go back again. Take a look at the navigation center. Features. You can go under features. Here you go. real-time scanning, your firewall, anti-spam, shredder, your networks, quick clean vulnerability, and parental controls. It's pretty simple. Those are basic features, but important ones. Scan your PC, you can click this to go to your PC. The firewall, it's right there. Reports and history. Security reports are basically what happened on your last scan and things of that sort. When you click on it, it opens a small page. Let me see if I can get that open real quick. 1 second. I apologize. This will only take me a minute. I think it's this one. Let's click that. Boom. Yeah, there you go. Right there. You can see it right here. It'll open up this window if you click on that. It tells you the overview. So when you're looking at things, you can say, here, am I secure? This is the global environment of the internet. Right now it's elevated. When you're looking at this video, it might be in like a very high state of alert. That might be meaning that viruses and hackers are going wild, and you should be careful on which sites you're going on. If it's low, you're probably pretty safe. More virus information will take you to the website. It'll tell you these are the most active viruses. This is where you're most likely to find them. Be careful. Threat map tells you places in the world where you're most likely to catch a virus. This is something you should know. If you're in a European country, or you're in Canada, or you're in Australia, you can still catch viruses from the United States. The fact that the United States and China and stuff like that have higher threats most of the time, pretty much if you connect to anything that's from the United States or China or from one of the countries that are in an elevated state of alert, you're more likely to catch a virus. So if you're going from a connection in Germany to a connection in France, you're less likely to get a virus than if you were going from Germany to the United States, simply because the United States has more viruses flowing around. There's more internal internet access in the United States than there are in many other foreign countries. Highlights tells you, how many viruses and threats have been stopped. Tells you how many potentially malicious incoming connections have blocked. As you can see, there are quite a lot on mine. That's because I had some problems in the past, but pretty much entirely they were all shot down. I used malware bytes, completely erased most of that. McAfee got rid of one. So that's pretty good. Down here it tells you your recent activity, tells your subscription, your updates, scanning, tells you your traffic monitor, so that you see which programs are connected to the internet. You click total activity, see how many scans you've run in the past, see how many things you've used, how many Trojans have been stopped. See, I've stopped 7 Trojans, and a bunch of those have been detected and stopped. My firewall has blocked 169 things. It blocked a lot of internet connections. Anti-spam, which stops phishing attacks and things of that sort. Quick clean, which I don't think I've run yet. Shredder. See, I've shredded 500 different things. Most of those were probably malware. Shredded them, completely destroyed them pretty much. Programs, one of them was patched. It found one program. Parental Controls just takes you to the parental control screen again. So let's close out of that. We don't need to see that anymore. Pretty straightforward. You can scroll down through here and see everything you need. The threat map, again, the resources are right here. This to help support, threat map, virus library, HackerWatch, about. Pretty simple things. Defrag. You can run this from your computer, or you can run this from McAfee. They both work. It's probably, if you use both of them, you'll probably increase the chances that you defrag most of the stuff that is causing performance issues. So if you need to increase your performance, defrag from your virus software like McAfee, defrag from your computer, and the natural resources that are on there, you probably will clear up most of your performance problems. If not, then there's something else that it's a matter. Automatic updates, we've been through this. Anti-spam, stuff like this, pretty simple. Down here, we were going to go more into detail with this. Quarantined and trusted items. This is where your quarantine stuff is. If you have anything that's quarantined at the moment, you click this open, it's going to tell you this is what it is, this is what the threat is, this is when it was detected, and this is its status. If it says not quarantined, you might be in trouble, and you're going to want to make sure it is. If it's something that's not a virus, then you can easily say restore, and it will accept it or whatever. So if you're running a video game and it says this is a virus, and you know for a fact it's not a virus, you can go ahead and restore it, and McAfee will remember that, so it won't think that it's a virus again. It'll say it's trusted, you know, we're not going to warn you that it's a Trojan or a virus or whatever if it's not. Of course, if it is, it's important to come here, because if you've quarantined it, you've not removed it from your computer. Quarantine just means it's like it's in a quarantine. It cannot do anything. The program cannot run, and McAfee will not let it run. You're going to want to click delete. That will permanently erase it from your computer, and it will never be a threat again. If it's a virus that McAfee may have never seen before, usually this option will pop up where it says send to McAfee. If you click that, it will take you to the website where it will either tell you if it's been archived before, or it will allow them to notify everyone else who has the McAfee, hey, this is a virus. If your computer detects this, it's a virus. And then though you're basically helping more people, you're helping everyone if you send it to McAfee. If it's something McAfee already knows is a virus, it'll tell you, hey, we already know this is a virus. This has been logged before. Thanks for notifying us that this virus is more prevalent. Usually the website is really good on telling you this virus has been active this many times on this many McAfee users in the past year or whatever. So that's important. This can tell you things about the virus, which can give you more information. You know, usually people don't really care, but if you're interested, you can easily do that. It also has this cool select all feature. So if you have multiple viruses or whatever, you can just click select all and delete. Boom, gets rid of all of them at once. Nice and simple. Just keeping things pretty basic. Well, let's go back under the quarantined again because there's more options under here. Quarantined to potentially unwanted programs, PUPs as they're known. These are things like malware and spyware and spamware that fill your computer with malicious programs and viruses. These are the things that I said, they open the door for bigger things. Quarantined PUPs will end up here. The viruses end up in the other bin. PUPs, which are programs that are potentially unwanted, end up here. Same process as select all, send to McAfee, restore them if you know that they're trusted. Only do this if you know that they're trusted. Cannot stress that enough. And delete, which will completely remove them. Did that again. It's kind of dumb. Did that for the third time. And then down here, trusted items. These are the ones that in the other two sections or in any other section you say, this is a threat, this is the type of threat it is, but McAfee is not supposed to do anything about this because you trust it and you know it's not going to destroy or harm your PC. Trusted items, like it says up here, will not be detected in future scans. So once you say it's trusted, you can run McAfee scan again. It will not read it as a virus. It'll just pass over it like it was any other file. You got to be careful though. Like, if you're running a video game or something, you know, like, let's say you download a video game from Steam, like, I don't know, let's say you download Skyrim. Let's say you download Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's say you download, you know, Far Cry 4 or whatever, or Far Cry 3 or whatever you're going to play. Let's say you download that from Steam, and you know that there's no virus with that. And it says, we're quarantining this, it's a virus. You can come here and say, this is not a threat, and McAfee will say, okay, it's not a threat. But you got to be careful. If you download a game from the internet, don't always believe that it's safe. Sometimes you might say, oh, it's a video game, it's got to be safe. Sometimes people will take, they'll take torrents and they'll slide viruses in there so that when you download the torrent, you know, like, I don't know, from music or a movie or something, you download the torrent, you're pirating it, you're doing something, you are at risk. You're taking that risk on your own, and if you have something like that pop up in here, remember whether or not it should be trusted. If you think it should be trusted and it seems safe and you've read the program, the name of it, it says what kind of threat it is, and you don't believe it's an actual threat to you, you can make it trusted, but be careful. You've been warned. Don't always trust things you find on the internet. This should just be a blanket statement over everything. Most virus softwares have the same thing. There's pretty much none that you're going to find today that don't have something like that. So if after all of this you have not found what you were looking for, there is the help section right here, which will bring you to this. You can go to their website. We went over this. And you can get more help from people who work at McAfee. Their job is to help you, and usually you can find them 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or whatever is listed on their website at the time. Don't expect help on holidays. They're a business. People want to spend Christmas with their family. So don't expect things like that. But usually, if you can't find something here, go look at the FAQs, look at the knowledge base, check the forums. If people are having problems with their updates, that's where you're going to want to go. If you need to manually update something, that's where you're going to want to go. If you think that maybe McAfee as a site is having problems or whatever, you can go here and find the answers to that. They will tell you right there on the forums if there's any problems with McAfee or anything of that sort. You can talk to technicians who are usually robots which run on your computer to try and diagnose what your problem is. But you can also talk to real people as well. So this is vastly important. This is pretty much it. This is what McAfee is. It's a virus thing. Down here you can see threat map, about, secure. You can click your security reports, which brings up that web page we saw earlier with the threat maps and things. So that's McAfee in a nutshell. If there's anything more you need to know, go there for help. Thank you. Like the video if this helped you at all. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. I know the video is kind of long, but I tried my best to include as much information as I could. This is an entire overview of it. I went a little bit in depth with everything, but I'm not going to go into so much detail that you're going to know everything. If you need to know more, go to the website.